Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. During a traffic stop at 7:55 a.m. Tuesday morning on Farm to Market Road 71, just west of the Sulphur Bluff store, John Maxwell, age 36 of Paris, fled the Hopkins County deputy. Maxwell fled south from the location on foot. A pursuit followed and the deputy called for support. The Sulphur Bluff Independent School District was placed on a soft, non-emergency lockdown as Hopkins County Sheriff's deputies, along with investigators, county and state bloodhounds, and DPS helicopters were involved in the pursuit of Maxwell. A blue warrant for Maxwell had been issued out of Austin based on charges of burglary of a habitation and possession of 10 to 50 forms of identifying information that had occurred in both Lamar and Red River counties. Maxwell faces 15 years in prison. Maxwell was wearing a black t-shirt, ball cap, and jeans. You should not approach Maxwell if you see him. Call the Hopkins County Sheriff's Office. Maxwell has a history of criminal activity dating back to August 2006. He's been arrested multiple times for criminal trespass, resisting arrest, possession of marijuana, assaulting a public servant, assault causing bodily injury, fraudulent use of identifying information. Traveling with Maxwell was a female and a juvenile. The female and juvenile were taken to Krista's mother, Frances, and then transported to Hopkins County Jail. The female is Tara Slaw, age 41, who was married to Maxwell, according to Slaw's niece. Slaw and Maxwell were separated so she could regain custody of the juvenile, according to the niece. Slaw moved from Paris to Mount Vernon to get away from Maxwell, stated the niece. Slaw has fled police before when with Maxwell. Police have searched the residence in Mount Vernon. They are still seeking Maxwell as we report now. 2 fugitives were arrested by the Special Crimes Unit Monday. The Fugitive Task Force out of Arlington notified the Special Crimes Unit in Sulphur Springs that Holly Marie Jacoby, age 44, and Jose Jacoby, age 44, both of Richland Hills, were suspected to be in the Saltillo area. The pair was arrested at the residence on County Road 3534 near Saltillo. Both were charged with aggravated sexual assault of a child. Both are currently in Hopkins County Jail, Holly Jacoby being held on a $100,000 bond, Jesus Jacoby being held on a $200,000 bond. Area school board races are picking up with additional candidates. In Mount Vernon, incumbent Steve Assay and newcomer Josh Jordan joined Melissa Donovan and Brooke Bussell, who have filed for the school board. At Yantis, add Mike Allen to those who have filed for a seat. For Como-Picton, Jared Brumley has joined the race there. School board elections are May 6th. Filing continues through February 17th. Here's Don Julian with sports.
Outside of playoff games, one would be hard-pressed to remember more important games on one night for the Wildcats and Lady Cats basketball teams than Tuesday night. Tuesday night, each are involved in a battle of the top 2 teams in the district with Mount Pleasant. The Lady Cats will be in Wildcats Gym hosting the Lady Tigers. Meanwhile, the Wildcats basketball team will have a summit battle at Mount Pleasant. And we'll have more on these important games on Wednesday's Channel 18 TV News. The Wildcats golf team opened their season Monday, and I talked with Coach Chris Owens, the new Wildcats golf coach.
So we played in the Longview Invitational over at Pinecrest Country Club in Longview. I was pleased with our first showing on the first tournament. As a team, we shot .314. We got 6th place overall in the tournament. My medalist, or the kids' individual scores, were Alex Moats led them out, the senior, with a 73. Next was Colton Bench with a 77. Carter Lewis shot 78. Andrew Escobar with an 86, and Matt Calhoun with 87.
Okay, pretty good for a first outing for your team.
Yes, sir. I was pleased. Good place to start. I think we can trim 10 or 15 strokes off of that, hopefully by the time we get to district and compete.
Sound like Alex is really ready to kind of be the mentor and kind of a leader for this team this year as a senior.
Yes, sir. I believe so. He's certainly put the work in over the last couple of years. He played all summer as a lot of these kids do, but he's been playing well all summer, and that's kind of rolled into what we're doing now. So I look for him to be that leader and continue to be that leader and that role model for these younger guys, because we're a relatively young team. I took 5 guys yesterday and had 2 seniors, a freshman, and 2 sophomores. So.
Yeah, I know. I believe a freshman bench that you talked about shot a 77, so that's great for a young player.
Great for a young player to come along and shoot 77 in his first high school tournament ever. So
yeah.
That was good. That was good to see. He's been working hard, and I look to see some good things out of him.
What's next now for the Wildcats?
Next, on the 17th and 18th of February, we play here.
Yeah.
Rockwall's having an invitational. They're going to have their district tournament down here, so they wanted to have a preview. So it's a Friday, Saturday 2-day, which will be a good test for us. Put 2 days together there. So looking forward to play on the home course and seeing how well we can do.
The Lady Cats golf team opened their season at a tournament Monday, and I talked with new Lady Cats golf coach Whitney Spigner, a former Lady Cats golf standout.
It was a little bit windy, and we kind of got done right before the wind started, so that was a great thing. But the temperature was great. We felt great, and posted some great scores for our first tournament of the year. Okay. Morgan Lander, she shot a 91, and she ended up placing 11th. And Alyssa Sotelo shot a 102, and I think that got her in, what did I write, 17th, and they both were not bad. And then Morgan, she's a sophomore, and then Alyssa, she's a senior. And then a junior, Emma Lane, she shot a 110, and a freshman, Charlie Potts, shot a 110, and a freshman, Alyssa Underwood, she shot a 111. But overall, pretty good. There was some stiff competition there. I think the lowest round was a 71, which was a 1 over. So it was pretty stiff competition. So I think we did okay as a team. We came out 6th out of 13 teams.
And so maybe for a first go at it early in the season.
Oh yeah, yes. It was very pleasing to see how well they played, considering that this was the first time, and we've only been able to practice for about 2 to 3 weeks now. So I see us just getting better from here on out.
When will they play next now?
Next Friday on the 17th and 18th, it'll be a 2-day tournament, and it's actually here at the Sulphur Springs Country Club. It's hosted by Rockwall, and that will be a good one to come out and see us play for sure. Since it's a Friday and Saturday, some people might be off work, so they can come check us out.
All right. You have been here at the high school for several years teaching math, and now you get a wonderful opportunity to do something. Coach what you did in high school.
Yes, sir. Golf. Yes, sir. Graduated in 07 and was part of the golf team. And yeah, this is an awesome opportunity, and I'm thankful that it happened out this way.
How about going to the state meet? How does that rank in your life?
It's probably one of the best accomplishments that I ever got to do. I worked very hard to get there, and to be able to accomplish that finally my last year and do kind of well. I placed 12th, and it's high up there. It's probably top 3 for sure.
Now you got the opportunity to play college golf up in Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
For all 4 years, right?
Yes, sir. I played. Actually, I was able to qualify for every tournament that I was available for us all 4 years. And I played at East Central University in Ada, Oklahoma. And unfortunately, they had funding cuts, and they had to quit tennis and golf program. Kind of hurt my heart. But yes, sir, all 4 years played, and I did a 5th year, and I helped my coach as an assistant and finished my schooling. And then I went to Raines for 2 years, and I coached there and taught math. And then an opportunity came to where I didn't have to travel as much, and took the job here, and just waiting for this to come open, and it finally did.
The Lady Cats softball team has faced some good pitching and some solid teams during 3 scrimmage dates so far. They were at Rockwall Saturday and at home against Lindale Monday night. The Lady Cats have had a tough time so far coming out on the big end of these scrimmage scores. I talked with Lady Cats softball coach David Carrillo.
Yes, we've been really busy over the last, well, actually Saturday and Monday. We changed our scrimmage date from today to Monday so we could accommodate, basketball. Girls were really wanting to go, and that being senior night. So, it's all about program also. So we wanted to show our support. But, we played 3 really good teams on Saturday, the Colony, Rockwall, and North Forney. And, just little things that we need to work on. I thought Saturday's scrimmage, we pitched really well overall. We played, pretty well defensively. There's a lot of things that we still need to work on. And the hard part about that was some of the things we need to work on Saturday, we didn't have time to work out and didn't have a practice day. So we kind of went into it on Monday or yesterday, and there's still some things that we know we need to work on and we need to fix. But again, this week will be good because Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday we'll work on get better by the time we play North Lamar on Friday. But overall, I think this is a learning process. I always tell the kids, there's winners and learners, and right now we're learning, and it's not fun at times. It's part of a process, but I know what's fixing to be out there and what I see, and I know it's going to be really good.
How's the hitting been? Let's start with that area.
We've been very sporadic in our hitting. That's the thing that I've noticed. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get going. We definitely not picked up where we left off from last year, but I know the potential is there, and I know our kids that are normally really good hitters will come around and start hitting. I'm not pushing the panic button, though, because I do know we're putting the ball in play for the most part. At times, we do get the silly strikeouts and things like that, but for the most part, we are putting the ball in play. Saw a little light at the end of the Lindale game. We scored some runs, put some hits together. Actually, I think we left bases loaded, and get a big hit there, and we scored some more. The Rockwall game, there was a glimmer of it, but overall, though, we have faced some really, really, really good caliber teams and pitching. I mean, this has probably been, in the 11 years I've been here, the hardest preseason we've ever had on just dealing with just really good pitching. I mean, the pitchers are really good, so we're definitely not facing any slouches. So, it is what it is, and you play tough people to get better, and that way you can fix, things that you need to fix and get exposed a little bit. And that's the thing, too. There's nothing wrong with getting exposed a little bit because you're not going to know what to work on. If things were easy, you're not getting nothing out of it to me. Things are hard, face a little bit of adversity, put your kids, put them behind the 8 ball a little bit, and let's see how they're going to react or act, because, you can be kumbaya, everything's hunky-dory at the beginning, beating people 15-0, but to me, you get nothing out of it. So what we're doing right now, again, it's a learning process, There's no such things as losers. We just learn, and we're going to continue to do that.
Let's talk about pitching a little bit. Have you seen a lot of different pitchers this year
from us? Yes. What's weird, that's another thing too, is just, you go into a new year and our pitchers are a year older, and we're learning from the girl that's from, that come in, Allie Fight, she's new for us, and a lot of great things out of her. We see she's going to be a good one, and Bailey Haggerty, pretty much, she throws the ball a little bit harder, got a little bit more spin, and, Landry Bell, same thing, she's physically getting stronger. So, they all have different styles, and you can use them all in different ways. And that's what we kind of evaluate right now, and we're learning. There's some things that can be improved, and most of it, I think, though, that the type of pitchers they are, we need to do a better job defensively at times. That's where, we need to work on it. Sometimes they really don't get hit very hard. And a lot of balls get spun around in the infield and things like that. And we got to go make those plays. And that's where defensively, it comes in because they're going out there working their tails off. And, defensively, we need to go make the simple plays. Because if you don't, then that's someone that eventually scores or bites you in the rear end later. So I think they're all 3 really good. I think they're going to be fine. We just got to put together some complete games. And, scrimmages, it's hard because, it's like last night I was really frustrated because we got caught on time, and I wanted to play a little bit longer, but she didn't. And I'm not slamming on them either. They got to go back to Lindale, but we just kind of ran out of time and didn't get to see everything we wanted to see. So, that's just part of it when you scrimmage. but I can't wait to really when it gets for real. Because then, it's game on and things are, I think our kids will step up too. Because I think you get in that mindset, oh, it's just a scrimmage, it's just a scrimmage. And sometimes you don't play the best of your ability. And I get caught up in that too. I really do. Because I'm too busy looking at everything else instead of knowing, hey, this is a game, we're going 7 innings, or this is it, we're in a tournament play, this is what we're going to do. And sometimes I get caught up into, I want to see this situation, I want to see how she reacts here. Or, I haven't even really been calling signals because right now I just want to bat. I want to get as many bats as we can. And plus some of these guys, I know we may see them again in the playoffs, so I don't want to tip my hand either because they're smart too. They got some brains. So right now we've just been playing it pretty basic. We really haven't done anything fancy. We're just going up there and hitting and trying to make the simple plays. But there are things we'll work on this week defensively. And then, again, we'll start going off the bands and start doing some other things offensively. So, that being said, it's a learning process. Everybody hates the word process, so do I. but it is what it is. And, that's what we're going to do, and that's what we've been doing.
You're building a house, I believe.
Yes, sir, building a house. Give me some mortar, give me a brick, hand me another brick, and let's go. I mean, I can understand some of the kids being a little bit down, and they want to start off where they left off, but, hey, it's a new year, and by no means am I pushing the panic button, but like you said, we're building a house, and that's what we're going to do.
One more Friday coming up, more scrimmage.
One more scrimmage, and then I believe our next action will be Thursday at our Sulphur Springs tournament. Prayer warriors, pray for no rain, hot temperatures so we don't freeze out there. That's all I'm asking for. I've been looking at the long term already, but that tournament is really a good tournament too. We're excited about it. We get to host it. And we've always usually had some good weather. We might have had one bad day, but for the most part, it's been good weather. So we're hoping that we can get this in. It's good for the community to come out and watch us and, just come watch some softball. It'll be a really good tournament.
The Lady Cats will have their final scrimmage at home Friday against North Lamar. The regular season starts for the Lady Cats on February 16th in the Sulphur Springs Varsity Softball Tournament.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.
Well, it is 8:15, and I have looked so forward to right now, this part of this very first morning of our Valentine's season here on KSST. Today through next Tuesday, the 14th of February, we will be reading some of our nominations that we get in the Nice People Awards and then awarding the candy. Has given us 12 boxes of Whitman's sampler chocolates and nice big boxes. And somebody's going to win those. In fact, we have 2 already this morning selected. First, though, we read a batch of nominations, and then we get to the 2 that have been selected for today. And we do it kind of like we've always done it in years past. Here's the very first nomination that came in. And again, this is one that's just being read and will go back in the stack for consideration for another day. But Karen Weatherman has been nominated. That does not surprise me. Karen spent many days and hours of her time to make sure the senior citizens are taken care of. And she's been many events in town, a part of many events, and planning many, many more. My appreciation goes out to Karen and her helpers for making things special and easier for others. And now, Teresa Moore is the writer of this nomination. So, Teresa, thank you for your letter. In fact, you brought 2, and I'll put that aside because we're going to continue to consider some of these people. Here's one for Carrie Lane. Carrie Lane, one of the sweetest and most sincere gals anybody knows. She's always got a smile and is a delight to be around. She works at Douglas Elementary with special needs students daily and has a sweet disposition for them. Carrie Lane is great fun to be around, has a quick response and funny things to share, and makes people around her happy. And she and the writer of this have spent a lot of times together in the past few years. Carrie is obviously generous with her time and volunteers to help others, and has even jumped in to help me with big projects that I do. I'm glad to call her my friend and neighbor and believe she's a great candidate for the KSST Nice Person Awards. And this written by Julie Woolley about Carrie Lane. So that's going to go back in our reread stack right there as well. Here's another one. Sheila Oxford. I'd like to nominate my cousin Sheila Oxford for your Nice People Award. She visits my mom and another lady who is a friend of hers in the nursing home. She visits on a weekly basis, brings them gifts and homemade treats to eat. She's the most upbeat person I know. I'm blessed to know her and even more to have her as a cousin. And this is sent from Pat Etheridge to Sheila Oxford for the Nice People nomination. Thank you. And here's one for Nita Kaysen. Marcel Tucker wants to nominate Nita Kaysen. She was a former neighbor and friend. She no longer drives, and friends drive her to doctor's appointments, grocery shopping, and getting out to buy little items like greeting cards that most of us usually don't consider important anymore, but Nita does. Nita has a pleasant spirit, and after spending time with her, she's lifted your spirits more than you have helped her. So Marcel Tucker nominates Nita Kaysen. And thankfully, we have already begun getting a good batch of nominations to be read each morning. So we'll have a different batch each morning. And the ones that are already read, such as those, can come back to win on another day. Now we're going to bring out our two that are going to get the candy today. And let me ask if you would send in nominations, if anything you hear inspires you to write something nice about somebody that maybe you just took it for granted that they always do, but stop and think about it. You know, they spend time and effort and sometimes money doing those nice things for people. So write a little letter, get it here to KSST, and we'll read them and possibly award the candy. The mailing address, and there's still time, is P.O. Box 284. The email address, kSST1230@gmail.com, or just drop it off here at the station as others have done. We'll be glad to see you. Okay, 2 boxes of candy going out. 1 box for Buddy and Ina Gore to share. And this nomination has come in from Billy Emerson. Here's all about Buddy and Ina Gore. 2 people that have done more for Hopkins County than most people realize. Together, Buddy and Ina are a great team, offering friendship, comfort, hope, entertainment, a lot of love wherever they go. They use their music ministry to help people everywhere. As a singing duo, they not only entertain and inspire audiences with a godly message, but have used their music to help numerous churches to raise much-needed money for their causes. They travel, they sing, they smile, they'll pray with you, laugh with you, and all the while letting their love for each other and for God show through. Their musical recognition goes far beyond the borders of Hopkins County. However, home is where they call home, or here is where they call home. And they are our own Buddy and Ina Gore. They should be recognized as the sweethearts they really are, with a box of candy, and they are going to, Billy. So we give a box of candy from Walgreens to Buddy and Ina Gore. And here's another well-selected recipient. This one, I'll just read the whole letter and then you'll find out who this person is. And it's got about 3 pages long of handwritten. I like these handwritten letters. This is to a longtime resident of Wesley House Assisted Living. She has lived in other healthcare facilities, and she had a long recuperation in the hospital when she was only 40 years old. She was living in Sulphur Springs and working in Greenville, and why she had to go in the hospital is in this story. On the way home from her job in the afternoon with others in her carpool, her car was hit by the driver of an 18-wheeler truck. She had critical injuries and was rushed to the hospital. Because of the extent of her injuries, she spent a long time there. Liz cannot recall how long she was a patient, but she does remember that when she regained her senses, she was unable to speak. One of her older brothers began to coach her, not only because he loved her, but also because she had been a vivacious, lively person, one of the 2 youngest members of their family. He and others were determined that her daughters and her 6-year-old son would not be deprived of their mother. So in spite of the good care, she was able to spend only 3 years in the house that she still owns in Sulphur Springs before entering a healthcare facility. Her room at Wesley House contains her most prized possessions, which are pictures of Elvis Presley, her idol, her sewing machine, which she used to make bibs for other residents, and some beautiful dolls that she made, and her radio and television used regularly to access KSST. She keeps up with the weather and other events in our area. She is a longtime member of First Baptist Church in Sulphur Springs. She'd taught the small children Sunday school there before becoming an invalid. Now she seldom fails to be at her regular place each Wednesday when the service at Wesley House is conducted by First Baptist Church Assistant Pastor Fred Lewis and pianist Doris Dobson for the residents there. I admire this lady for so many things, especially her optimistic outlook. She rarely, if ever, complains, and she seems grateful for her abilities to speak and communicate with others. She's especially appreciative of a new custom-made wheelchair with pink trim selected by herself, which enables her to move about without having others push her. And she often expresses gratitude for living without pain. And this nomination is for Liz McKinley. If you hadn't already guessed, Liz McKinley, you're going to get a box of chocolates from Walgreens, which we've got right here at KSST, a big yellow box of Whitman's assorted chocolates. Now, Peggy Pullen is the one who wrote the letter. Thank you, Peggy. And yes, I will go by your wishes for getting that candy to Liz McKinley. So Liz McKinley and Buddy and Ina Gore are our recipients of the Valentine's candy today. Our first day, February 7th. Now, be listening again tomorrow as we come back with another list of nominees and 2 more people to win the candy. Why don't you get a nomination in yourself? P.O. Box 284 by mail, or email KSST1230 at gmail.com, or just drop it by. We'll be right here for you.